ذكرنا بالحدث الأعظم واسمح لي أن آخذ قبسا من نور المبعوث الأكرم. علمنا في الهجرة درسا يهدينا لطريق أقوم. أقبل يا شهر محرم وابدأ من دار ابن الأرقم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ربنا اشرح لنا صدورنا ويسر لنا أمورنا وفقهنا في دين الإسلام. لقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: ولقد كرمنا بني آدم وقال إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في آية أخرى: الذين إن مكناكم في الأرض، إلى آخر الآيات. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: كلكم راع ومسؤول عن رعيته. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسول الأمين. My beloved brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers and children, I greet you with the universal greeting of Islam. May the peace, mercy and blessings be showered upon all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we are once again honored and privileged through the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be able to attend the Jummah, to observe the instruction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we need to observe this Mubarak waqt, and that is the waqt of Jummah. Those who cannot attend, this is the special, what we call sacred space. So if you cannot attend the Jummah, it is still to observe this time span of the sacred space, that you need to observe it even if you can't attend the Jummah. Today I have chosen to speak about, and as you know, I normally have this particular, the relevance to the society, what is happening in our society on a day-to-day basis. I've chosen today to speak about 3 verses and then some more verses, but within a theme. And I hope I will complete within this particular time span. The first verse I'm quoting is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُمْ فِي الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ وَرَزَقْنَاهُمْ مِنَ الطَّيِّبَاتِ وَفَضَّلْنَاهُمْ عَلَى كَثِيرٍ مِمَّنْ خَلَقْنَا كَثِيرًا تَفْضِيلًا. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في آية أخرى: إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في آية ثالثة: الذين إن مكناكم في الأرض أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر ولله عاقبة الأمور. Looking at these 3 verses, you will find, my beloved brothers and sisters, that you will soon come to a realization that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is impressing upon us, and for us to understand it in this way, that we are essentially noble, spiritual, social human beings. Noble, spiritual, social human beings. The first verse, وَلَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed Allah has honored the children of Adam. And the children of Adam is the entire humanity. So we are not being privileged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to say yes because we are Muslims and therefore we are honored. No. We are honored as a humanity. لَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. That Allah has every single human being, Allah has given you honor. And Allah has elevated your status as a human being, regardless of color, caste or creed. That you are on that particular level, and that is how Allah subhanahu look at us as human beings, that Allah has given us honor. In another verse, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The one that is most honored of you, of us as the human beings, after Allah has given us this honor. So each one of us sitting here, or each one of us living on this planet Earth, as a human being, you have been honored. But then Allah says, the ones that are most honored in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that has taqwa. That one that has that Allah consciousness. The one that identifies in the spiritual level, while you are busy with your temporal world, while you are with your worldly things, that connectivity or that connection is supposed to be there. Whereby Allah will then say, Allah says that the most honored, we are all honored, but it's the one that can make that connection, that spiritual connection between ourselves and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the one that will be the highest level. Now, my beloved brothers and sisters, how do we really understand this? This honor that Allah has placed upon us. And my beloved brothers and sisters, you must understand this. We are being honored at a time even before birth. The time even before birth, as a human being, and we need to realize this, where we are coming from. When we were conceptualized, when we were formed in our mother's womb, because none of us came into this dunya without being in the mother's womb. Nabi Adam was the only one that didn't come in a mother's womb. He wasn't born. But all of us as humanity, we come from the mother's womb. So when that conception came, when the two seeds, the mother's, the female seed and the male semen came together and it joined and it formed, make a formation, when we were still the fetus. But at that point, that is the first honor. That was the first honor of the formation. The second level of honor, while still being in the mother's womb, is when that ruh was blown into, life was blown into us, whilst being in this formation in the mother's womb. So that is where the honor already starts for the human being. Then it continues after birth. So if you look at this honor, how do we deal with it? How do we deal with it? Because this honor did not come without responsibility. It did not come without obligations. It did not come, my beloved brothers and sisters, that you are living a life just for nothing. You have been here on life. Each and every one of us is here on earth for a purpose. For a purpose. So none of us can claim that you are here for nothing, as if you don't exist. Part of my reference for the birth, we are in our mother's womb, and that's where the honor came. The other thing is, as we are all sitting here, we are all individuals. We are a unique person within our own selves. No single fingerprint. If they may say there are now 7 billion or 8 billion people in the world, out of all these 8 billion, and even those who have passed on, Generations and generations before, nations and nations before. Not a single finger thumb is the same. That is the ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is how we need to look at this, as this honor Allah has bestowed upon us. You find that as the human being, part of that type of creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of us have basic needs. All of us have basic needs. And if you look at this, what I call the indispensable necessities, that as a human being, there's a necessity or there's a need, a basic need each and every one of us have, and we cannot do without it. And you all know this. It's two things: water and food. If you are being deprived of water and food for a very long time, then your life will be limited. If you are still continued to be deprived of this, then you became maybe non-existent as a human being. You may be able to survive still, but fundamentally, we cannot be without water and food. So we find, my beloved brothers and sisters, in appreciation of we being created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ إِن مَكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَمَرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَلِلَّهِ عَاقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ. Says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, الَّذِينَ إِن مَكَّنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Now this word مَكَّنَّاهُم has various interpretations. The one interpretation here is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you power, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you authority in this earth. One of the tafsirs or one of the interpretations on this is, it refers to the rulers. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made you a leader. But the literal translation of this is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given each and every one of us power. Allah has given each and every one of us authority of some sort. Whatever domain we have find ourselves, so therefore the one, wherever Allah has placed you on this earth, and Allah has given you that particular type of power and authority, and through that, the power Allah has given you is this, your mind. So Allah has given us that intellectual power, the mind, the aql. And Allah has taken it away from some. But the majority of us has this, the aql. And this mind, my beloved, and you always, my beloved brothers and sisters, many a time you hear, the power of the mind. It's not the power of economics. It's not the power, the physical strength, but this power of the mind. So therefore this is also established when Allah has given you power. How do you use this mind in the earth, on the earth? How do you use that power and authority? So when you use this, like I said, it comes with responsibility. We being unique individuals, unique human beings. How do we exercise this? All three verses, my beloved brothers and sisters, speak about what this verse is saying. Aqamu salah, then he will obviously ensure that salah is established. He will become that role model first, or she will become that role model first. Then you won't forget your spiritual side. Iqamu salah wa atu zakah, and you won't forget the economics, the Islamic economics. How do you deal and manage your own finances? You would not be irresponsible if Allah has given you a lot or Allah given you little. You will be a responsible person because you will then be able to encourage others to pay zakah the minute you become Because you can't encourage others to pay zakah and you don't pay yourself. And there are conditions, obviously. When you have to pay zakah, there are conditions. When you pay and when you don't pay. But it's part of the Islamic economic system. So when you are in this authoritative position, and once again I'm repeating myself, it is not His interpretation, it refers only to the rulers. Those people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the leaders. But you are, and therefore I say it applies to all of us. If you become a married person, then you are obviously having what they call this, and every one of us know this terminology, the Sultan van die huis. And they always refer it to the male. But in today's time, the Sultan cannot be the male. There is this joint partnership that we are having between our spouses. So you find there, even the mother and the father, you have these particular authoritative position. And these are your duties. Iqamu salah wa atu zakah. So if salah this is your spiritual connection, your spiritual line that you are following. And your zakah, paying the zakah is also an ibadah. So it's connected with your spirituality. How you manage your money, it's connected with your spirituality, it's connected with Allah. How you earn your money is connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's connected. Therefore I said at the beginning, if you analyze these three verses, you will find that we are honored, spiritual, social human beings. You cannot deny that. And this is what these verses are reminding us. وَأَمَرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. And you order with the good and you forbid the bad. With the notion where this verse is ending off, وَلِلَّهِ عَاقِبَةُ الْأُمُورِ, and to Allah belongs the outcome or the end of all things. Another verse in Surah Baqarah. Another verse in Surah Baqarah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually as a yardstick to this. وَأَمَّرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. When you are in this particular position, because you are in your own private home, in your own privacy, you have to exercise these duties. You have to exercise these duties. So when it comes to these duties, my beloved brothers and sisters, Islam is a balanced deen. Allah says in Surah Baqarah, I think it's verse 44, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you order the people to do good? Do you order the people to be righteous? Do you tell the people to make salah, then you don't salah? Do you tell the people don't get involved in gambling and this and that? Whilst you are obviously stealing in the one side, you're frauding on the other side, you're doing business whatever way, dealing and wheeling. So this is that spiritual connection. Therefore Allah says, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ. Now birri means everything that is good. It means righteousness. وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ, and you forget about yourself. وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ, and you are all reciting the same book, you are all having the same book or the same scriptures. Is this possible? Therefore Allah asking us, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Can't you use this mind? Can't you use this powerful faculty of yours? Can't you think what you are busy doing? So we find here, my beloved brothers and sisters, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and there's two more verses or a few more verses I would like to get, because like I said, I'm doing this within, so it's just to get us into this type of mindset, this type of way of looking at the Quran. And when we deal with these particular type of verses, how do we apply it to today's time? First and foremost, how do we apply it to ourselves? Now, I've just said here, لَقَدْ كَرَمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The one that is closest to Allah, the one that is most honored in the sight of Allah is the one that is closest to Allah. Then how you get closest to Allah is when Allah has given you this particular faculty. Allah has given you a perfect body. Allah has given you a perfect mind, a perfect thinking processes, a perfect eyesight, everything perfect. Even those who don't have it perfect. But they utilize their faculties to the benefit of themselves in appreciation what Allah has given them. You find that it is, and it comes back to Iqamus Salah. You must. You can't say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. You know, something is going wrong, then you want to appeal to Allah. But you don't even appreciate Allah by making salah, putting your head to the ground at least 5 times a day. You're not appreciating. You're looking for money. You're looking for income. Whatever other income there may be. You're doing a business. And then you would say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. But you don't go and put your head to the ground in appreciation to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the relationship. Because Allah, when Allah give you whatever rizq, there's some other verses with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refers to this. However, another privilege that Allah has given us. And Allah says, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You, as this Muslim ummah, you are the best of ummahs evolved to humanity. Today's time, my beloved brothers and sisters, are we the best? Do you feel that when you carry the flag of Islam, as you are here in the southern tip of Africa, in South Africa, do you feel that you are that particular best of person, of Muslim that evolved to humanity? Hence in another verse in Surah Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعْلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. Ya Allah says, you are the best of ummah evolved to mankind, or to humanity. In another verse, Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعْلْنَاكُمْ. And therefore we have made you, this ummah. But we didn't only make you a ummah, we made you a ummah wasata. A balanced ummah. This ummah, my beloved brothers, the word wasata here means moderate, it means balanced, it means median, whatever it may be. But the further interpretation to it is that Allah has created us as a ummah that we can live in any circumstance and anywhere in this world, and we will be that type of an ummah. That is the balance, that is the other honor Allah has given us. That we will be so able to survive in any circumstance, in any place. As long as you have your priorities straight, you have your mindset straight, and you know where your scruples are in relation to our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you know how your scruples are in the relations to Allah, you know your values, you know your principles, and these are the Islamic values, the Islamic principles, and this is what these verses are talking about. لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ, so that you can be a role model to humanity. That Islamic identity, that Muslim identity. Do we feel proudly Muslim as we are sitting here? Do we say proudly, I can lift this flag of Islam and I'm representing Islam with my character, with my mannerism, with the way I am, that I can walk anywhere in this world, anywhere on this earth. I can go in any place and I will still have that honor, being that honorable Muslim, that honor that Allah has given me. Although I use the word proudly Muslim, it is not the pride, but it is that I am here as this human being and Allah has afforded me this Islam. and I'm at least that type of a practicing Muslim, that when Allah says here, وَإِن مَكَنَّاهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَمَرُوا بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَوْا عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. They order the good and they forbid the bad. We are this particular exemplary nation. We should be those exemplary people. Therefore Allah says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. Further it goes, تَأْمُنُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. You order with the good and you forbid the bad. It's been repeated here. So how can you have a dual personality, my beloved brothers and sisters? You cannot have a hypocritical personality. You cannot have a hypocritical in doing da'wah. You can't tell someone do this, then you go and do the opposite. Because you think people don't see you. Then even if you think people, and even genuinely people don't see you, mark your word, Allah sees you. You can't go and tell a person, go do this, go do that, and you do the exact opposite. Because you think that person doesn't know. Therefore Allah says you are the best. And when you are and when you will become the best is when you can order the good and forbid the bad, that you would apply it to your own self as well. You are not hypocritical. وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. And you are sincere with your connectivity, your spiritual path. In whatever you do, you never forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And let me give you a reminder here, that the salah is the key spiritual connection. But that is not the only spiritual connection. It is every activity that we are doing. Every deed that we are doing has that spiritual relevance to our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we realize this, my beloved brothers and sisters, we will become that exemplary personality. We will become that exemplary personality that we can proudly go about. When we open our mouths to others, when we engage others, when we want to encourage others to the right path, to the good path. Because you're not going to encourage others only to salah. You're going to look at character. You're going to look at personality. You're going to do all these things. And you need to be that exemplary personality. Another verse. وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّتَيْ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. Let there arise out of you a band of people. All of us. And here, look at the wisdom, the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowingly, we are a diverse type of a community. We have all different types of times and things that we are doing our own things. We are busy with this, busy with that. Here that Allah says, then let there arise a band of people amongst yourselves. What is the duty? What will be the duty of this particular group? يدعون إلى الخير.
ذكرنا بالحدث الأعظم واسمح لي أن آخذ قبسا من نور المبعوث الأكرم. علمنا في الهجرة درسا يهدينا لطريق أقوم. أقبل